Yeah, hey.
Yeah, hey.
Settle yourselves, dear ones. Still working to get the medium out of the way. Allow yourselves to be filled with Creator's light. Bathe in the richness of this frequency. Unique to each of you. Whatever it is you need to receive at this point in your linear time. For as others have said, you are all like acupuncture needles on this world, walking around, gridding the light, grounding the light, anchoring the light as you go about your day. And so you may think you're not doing much, but we beg to differ. It is like a firefly that is flying around and moving around. It doesn't stay stationary. It continues to flicker and shine its light. If it stayed stationary, it wouldn't achieve its purpose, if you think of it that way. So, in a way, you are all mobile lighthouses. Or a lighthouse on wheels. Whatever frequency you carry, and others have said this many times, your frequency increases and decreases depending on your focus, your emotion, your feelings. So because you are a mobile being of light, you are constantly changing in frequency. So if you think about it this way, when you leave your homes in your mornings or whenever, check how you feel. Do you feel good? Are you excited about whatever it is as you leave your space? And you take that feeling of excitement out into your day, or is it a frustration, concern, or whatever frequency that doesn't make you feel good? Think of it as soon as you step out of your homes, your sanctuaries, as you may consider them, what frequency do you offer this world? And mind you, you don't have to leave your space, because you are always offering a frequency even while you are in your homes or rooms or wherever. We are simply mentioning this to help you to be more aware that wherever you walk, wherever you sit, wherever you eat, wherever you drive, you are offering a frequency. And most of the time, those on your world, because you all are offering frequencies into the soup that is your collective consciousness, you might call it, most are not aware of what they're contributing. But you are more aware, more often, and are learning to be more aware and conscious of the frequency that you are offering based on how you feel. Feeling good, feeling upset, whatever it is, but feeling as good as you can, even if you're just calm and at peace, relaxed. It's better than being angry. Not better, it's just a different frequency. And one makes you feel better than the other. We wanted to quantify the term. Do you understand so far? And so upon your world, realize all the people that you see are offering frequencies. But dear ones, it's like, oh, this medium just had a very interesting image, like a little wind-up doll that just walks about. Or like a little toy that you wind it up and then you let it go and it just does its thing. Same thing all the time. You could think of those that are, you might consider unconscious, but they're just unaware. Like those toys. They're offering a frequency based on their program as they're wound up, as they're set loose, so to say. They're not paying attention. Or they could be paying attention, but they're not sure why they feel the way they do. They're not sure how to change their frequency. They're not sure how their frequency affects others or their reality or your world. You all do understand how your frequency affects you, others, your world, your reality, your creations, because everything is energy. So the frequency that you feel is the frequency that you are, think of it as a set point for creation. It's like your baseline for whatever comes next. And the good thing about your world is that there is a delay in your creations, your manifestations on the physical plane. The energies are always in motion. But because there are so much of a soup of frequencies for most people, it takes a while for them to, just like if you're making a soup, you're tasting it here and there, checking to see if it needs a little bit of this, a little bit of that, too salty, too sweet, whatever. It's similar in your frequency. And when you get it just right, you smile and you're all excited because it tastes good, it feels good, and you've done the work to create a masterpiece as a soup. Well, your frequency is a soup of your thoughts, of your feelings. And if you think about whatever it is you wish to create and manifest in your reality, each individual's reality, we are not talking about the collective at this time, for that is even bigger. Each of you is creating your own soup based on the frequency that you are offering. And the better you feel and the more excited you are about whatever it is you are focused on, think about it as you're creating a masterpiece as a soup or whatever it is. Whatever it is you are creating. Some of you don't like to cook like this medium. Whatever it is, whatever creative outlet you have, that is your masterpiece. But dear ones, just as those who are artists, who are molding clay, who are learning to paint, especially the clay and the sculpting type artwork. You take a piece of clay. It's just a blob, so to speak, yeah? Well, what happens when you begin to focus your intention, focus your imagination, focus your desire of what you wish to create, and you use your hands as a tool, but your vision, your inner vision, your imagination, your intention, like a laser, to sculpt the external. It came from within. You've heard artists say that they saw a piece in a piece of marble, a block of wood. How did they do that? Others would say it's just a block of wood or it's just a block of marble. How could they possibly see this magnificent structure, statue, creation, whatever it is, sculpture, inside of this? Because not only they are using their imagination, but they focused their internal desires like a laser. And slowly, as they became more focused and more fine-tuned and more, we'll say decisive, in their intentions of really what they're envisioning as this eventually external masterpiece. Dear ones, you know they didn't get it right the first time, right? They had to practice, just as we are saying all of you are practicing. Someone doesn't just, for instance, each of you, you wouldn't just get a block of marble and know how to sculpt. No. You have to learn the basic tools of whatever trade. You have to learn how to do different techniques. That's the external. So there are some things you have to do. Just as in whatever you're intending to manifest and create, you will have to take actions. But those actions are things that will just come naturally, like a sculptor realizes, oh, I am envisioning this piece of this body of work inside this section of this wood or whatever, marble, or we'll use those because it's easier than molding clay with this analogy. But if they are new to this, like an apprentice, perhaps, and think of yourselves as apprentices, but yes, you have the mastery within you. You're just learning how to fine-tune the skills that you already know, because some of the skills that you learned wrong. You learned how to create the wrong way, create something that someone else wants, and now you're learning and focusing your own intentions and desires. And so you have to practice on smaller pieces of wood or marble, whatever the desire is to create. And yes, you will hit a hammer a little too hard and a big chunk of marble will drop off and you'll go, no, that was supposed to be an arm. Okay. Oh well. Perhaps one less arm. But you learn that sort of technique or method or whatever it was that you did was not the appropriate tool for that particular moment, design, whatever it is. You learned to fine-tune your senses, your intentions, your visualizations, your imagination. The whole time you're creating something, like an artist with a sculpture, they're still envisioning this finished product inside. It's already in their mind. It's done. It's beautiful. Dear ones, we're saying this as an example because until you have clarity on exactly what you desire, it's like you being an apprentice and you're still figuring out what you're creating. And that's okay because you're learning to fine-tune your focus along the way. You may have thought, oh, this would look beautiful. This would be one image. And then you realize, well, this piece of wood or marble, whatever it is, actually, I think this image would look better. And you may change. So as you walk your path, and we're saying this to just give you some encouragement, that it is normal to change your mind as you go along your path. Your desires, your intentions may change. Notice that, understand that there is no right or wrong, dear ones. There is only choice. And you get to change your mind all the time. But realize, as you change your mind about something, maybe a decision or an intention, it should always ask yourself, is this a more clear focus than I had before? Am I more clear on exactly what I want and what I don't want? Because if you are, then you're going in the right direction. If you're more confused, then step back and walk away, because you don't really know what you want to create yet. So let that intention or project or whatever it is go until you can get neutral and get clarity. Just walk away. You don't have to make a decision. Waiting is also a choice. Many on your world think they have to go right or left. But dear ones, even in your cars, your steering wheel goes right or left, but you have something called neutral. Neutral lets you wait until you get further direction on what direction you want to go. So realize and understand that as you walk your path and clarify your desires, you will also be realizing, this medium just realized why we are mentioning this, because she had an aha moment that she finally decided what she didn't want and refocused on what she does want. But she had to get shaken up a little bit to get some clarity. It happens to all of you. If you had smooth sailing through your lives, you would never learn to focus. You would never learn to create, because everything would come easily, effortlessly. And dear ones, yes, eventually it will, but because you have been taught erroneously and programmed and passed on knowledge that was detrimental to you creating from a space of joy for what you intend to create for yourselves, not what someone else wants you to focus on. You are unraveling those knots and those programs and those neural pathways and learning to create consciously for yourself at whatever stage in your physical form you are in at this time. And none of you are, as you say, children. So it takes a little unraveling and some rewiring in your neural pathways. But until the old ways of thinking have been identified and released, looked at for what they are, and let go, and you decide, I want to think a different way, I want to feel a different way, and I choose something else to make me feel better, because I want to feel better, I choose to feel better. Until you make those conscious choices from a space of awareness and recognition of you choosing, you will stay in repetition of whatever it is you have been experiencing in your lives. Only you can make the changes that you wish to see within yourself, and within yourself first. You cannot change the world, one person. As one person changes their frequency within, you are that being of light. That frequency then affects the world around you. It affects the greater sculpture on your world as a consciousness. It is not a tangible creation, but it is a frequency, just like an artwork. Do you understand the analogy?
Yes.
So we wish to make sure you understand that you are the artists of your lives. And some of you are very creative and artistic and are already perhaps thinking of ways to apply this message to whatever it is that you create. But dear ones, all of you create with frequency. Every single one of you on this world, even the animals, the plants, everything is frequency, and they vibrate whatever frequency they wish. The only difference is the level of consciousness and the power to create. You are sparks of Creator. You are always part of Creator. You are creators. You have been creating from your very existence, not only in this form, but in other forms, other incarnations, perhaps this planet or others. You are always creating. Always. Just depends on what you're focused on. And so we just wanted to pass on this message. For many of you are perhaps struggling with clarity on what you want to create. Focus on, just as that artist would see the end result in mind, first in their mind. And it could be a feeling. You just want to have a feeling. So if you want to feel a certain way, close your eyes and intend to feel that way throughout your day several times a day. Connect to that frequency, and the more you connect to that frequency, the more it will become your predominant frequency. And as it becomes your predominant frequency, then you're swimming in it, and you can pop up your feet and go downstream, and occasionally take some actions to allow things to manifest physically within that frequency as you are guided, as it feels naturally as the next step to creating, just like picking up a different tool as a sculptor. Maybe you need a finer type of hammer. Understand, dear ones, that you are constantly shifting in vibration, and the vibrations on your world are in flux much. There is many changes. There are many frequencies impacting your world from beyond your sun and beyond in other galaxies. Just as the frequency on your world affects other planets and other life on other planets, which is why when we do the healing portion, we work also on sending that frequency out. But this medium also always intends that the messages and the frequencies of these sessions affect all life on your world and beyond for their highest good. Because you are not alone. It is not isolated. Everything is energy. Everything is connected. Think of your world as a microcosm of sorts, and the galaxy, the macrocosm. Everything is connected, though. Like that ripple in a pond. You are creating ripples by your frequency on your world. Just pay attention and be aware as the type of waves you are sending out by how you feel. If you're feeling good, you're sending out beautiful, beautiful waves of light. If you're not feeling too well, then maybe just rest and get quiet, kind of reset, pause, and tend to connect. Ask yourself what's going on. Do some reflection. Take a bath, relax. You have so many tools. Play some music, dance, play with your pets. So many different ways of shifting your vibration so quickly. But it must be a conscious choice to do so. And only you can choose, dear ones. We're simply reminding you of your power and ability to choose your frequency from one moment to the next. That is the gift Creator has given you, the free will choice to choose. Whether you go left, you go right, or you pause. Depending on which way you want to go with your frequency, it really doesn't matter which way you go, so long as you go feeling as good as you can. Okay? Make sense? Okay. Well, I have done as I have been asked this night. This concludes the instruction portion, dear ones. Our blessings to you, and we shall proceed. Settle yourselves and receive this blessing from the angelic realm. And so it is. This medium is trying to figure out if what I am saying is actually true. I am the frequency of the wind. An elemental of sorts. She thought it a bit strange. But nature is nature. And the wind moves things. It moves debris downstream. It clears dense air from your spaces. It moves toxins from the air around you. Think of how, and it helps you sneeze too. The wind that comes out through the sneeze, the breath. Yes, in a manner. In a small manner, it is like wind, the breath. For as you speak, the air comes out with a frequency. Just as with the wind, it can be gentle or very turbulent like a storm, depending on the frequency that is needed, the intensity, and the work to be done. We speak these words briefly so that you realize what the previous speaker mentioned applies to all. Even the wind has a frequency and can intensify or soften the blow, so to speak. It is no different with all of you with your emotions. Turn up the volume, turn it down. Turn up the intensity of your emotions is like turning up the wind with an intense storm. The intensity of, say, a hurricane or a tornado. Very focused types of wind. Very focused. Like a tornado, it touches down. If that wind dispersed, the intensity dissipated, it dissolves. The focus is gone. We're not discussing the destruction or anything that might come with it, but the same happens with your frequency, the intensity or lack thereof. The intensity is like the power. The power of the wind in a tornado affects much, doesn't it? Well, the intensity of your focus by the intensity of your feeling, dear ones, it's so simple. For you, it's just feel intensely as good as you can. And it is like creating a tornado of movement, not a gentle ripple. It is focused like a laser, the energy of creation. Just as could be destruction as well, but either way, it is movement. Destruction is also a form of creation, for things must be torn down before they are recreated in a different image. It is the nature to change. So we ask you to remember the wind and the different variations of the wind in relation to how you are focusing and feeling. Call upon the wind if you need a reminder. Just go outside and feel our breath, the gentleness or the intensity. Talk to us. We are consciousness as well. Sometimes, like the clouds, some of you have talked to the clouds. They hear. They work with us. Depending on when there is an intention for a manifestation of a storm or such, the energies come together and create. Just as you clarify what you truly desire, you begin to focus and pull your energies together in creating. We want you to see the parallels here so that you understand that consciousness is not just with you all. The elementals create. The animals create. The earth creates. All beings are creators. Connected to Creator from a different vantage point, you could say, but we are all frequency. We are all energy, just different combinations. So decide as you go about your day if you need a gentle breeze, or if you need a storm to make movement in your intentions. And ride the energies, ride the emotions as needed, as you choose by your intention, as you clarify what it is you wish to create, or destroy because you have clarified something must be destroyed in order to create something new. Do not fear destruction. It is just a piece of creation. Like the volcanoes that erupt. The lava seems to destroy, yet new land is created. New life is created on the lands, the islands created by such. Everything is perspective, dear ones. Be as neutral as you can. Neutral, no. They're saying non-judgment is a better term. Just be the observer. For nature gives you many lessons to show you how she creates by choosing to move forward. Like the seasons are changing, the weather changed, and here the snow is melting. Change, movement. Nature continues to go forward, and so do you. Continue to walk your path knowing that there is a path for you to walk. And do the best you can, enjoying it along the way. While you learn, while you clarify, while you decide what you're intending to create. For nature goes from season to season. Life from what you perceive to be a sort of death in the winter comes your spring and the beauty. The same is with you. Sometimes you need to pause and slow down and reflect to clarify and then focus your creations to have the beauty like the flowers in your spring. But you might have a little storms along the way. Understand? Well, we are the wind. And it was our pleasure to speak with you. They say now we've moved to the healing portion now. Dear ones, visualize yourselves as the beautiful balls of light that you are. Fill yourselves with Creator's light once more, overflowing these beacons, these mobile lighthouses, as was mentioned. Allow yourself to be bathed in Creator's light, whatever color you wish, or combination, it doesn't matter. There is no right or wrong, dear ones. For each of you, as was mentioned, have your own unique frequency, and it is a combination of colors. So you may see a predominant color, or you may see a combination of colors that match your divine frequency, or represent would be a better, appropriate term. So allow yourself to just bathe in your light. Feel your physical form as it receives and fills up with this frequency. Allow all of your muscles to relax. Feel yourself heavy as this denser form anchors in the frequencies and grounds them to your Earth Mother. Through your acupuncture needle. Think of it as beams of light coming out your feet and from your grounding cord. A pillar of light. And this pillar of light shoots through the top of your head and goes up beyond your world. If you were a satellite out in space, you would see a spark of light light up on your radar screen of sorts, like a star. This bright light. It is you, dear ones. You are brilliant creators of light and love. Feel your nature, feel your frequency, feel your being. And as you fill beyond your physical form with this frequency, and your physical form begins to, or you sense the vibration begins to go beyond your physical form, allow it to fill your entire field of your being and expand into your room, your home, your city, and keep growing and expanding while your higher consciousness is looking down upon your world, seeing this light grow brighter and brighter and brighter until it's like a mini sun, a bunch of them popping up, representing all of you and any others who may be joining in, expanding their light like mini suns, anchoring the light from the central sun through your sun, through you. It's like a little pinball machine. It's like bing, bing, bing. It just flows and ricochets until it flows through you and anchors through your form into this world. And as you are now filled with light, allow yourself to be that beacon of light out in space around your world and leave your physical form where it is. You are still connected and you may still feel it, but allow your consciousness to go to the higher planes, the grid around your world. And allow yourself to just anchor in these frequencies by simply being and flowing this light, allowing your frequency to be the ripples like the wind and go out through the grid, joining the others who are also sharing their light and their frequency, allowing it to ripple through the grid around your world that connects all life and consciousness. You could imagine this structure of sorts of energy flooding with light until your beautiful world is completely engulfed in a globe of light, flowing and pulsing with all the different ripples from all the different frequencies of all the beings joining in with you. For there are many. Just allow it to flow and feel it also within your being. Your physical form will feel the frequency that is now flowing through the grid. Feel it. Anchor it through your feet down to Earth Mother, into the ley lines, the grid within your world. And now allow that to just flow through you and now ripple through that grid. Until you see, if you were to be standing on a piece of glass and the grid is below that piece of glass, you begin to see this river of light going around your world, just underneath the surface. A few miles or so, perhaps, in general, but you get the idea. And allow yourself to just be the conduit, be the light that flows and ripples out this frequency from creator to the outer grid through your vessel of a physical form that can carry this light into the ley line grid, into the land, into the energy field that goes through this grid that all of humanity is connected to and receives frequency downloads from. Allow this ripple to just pulse through and flood with the violet to transmute any lower intentions that are not for the highest good of humanity or life on your world. Allow this grid to flood with violet. To cleanse and transmute any lower frequencies in this ley line grid. You can imagine your world, the land, and all life filling with violet light. The plants, the buildings. The medium just had a good idea. Imagine you are watching a cartoon and everything around you is turning violet. Your entire world filling with violet light. And even the portals connected to these grids. Anything with the intention to harm humanity, filled and flooded with the violet ray now. By intention, it is done. Saint Germain is assisting, as is the beloved Kuan Yin. with the healing for your world. As are other ascended beings, helping to anchor in this violet ray. Allow yourself to be flooded with this violet. And as below, so above. Allow this frequency of the violet to go up through to your higher being, up on the outer grid, and now flood the outer grid around your world and see it become violet. So your world is already filled like a beautiful violet bonfire, ball of light, all the way down to her core. And now the grid around your world is pulsing in violet ray. And as this violet ray fills the grid around your world, and all life is filled with an ebb and flow of this violet ray of transformation. Now this beautiful violet ball of light that you call Earth Mother. Allow this beautiful ray to grow and expand beyond the grid and be a gentle pulsation ripple that goes in all directions of space and time out throughout your universe and beyond, sending out this violet ray like a gentle pulse, a gentle ripple with a gentle wind. In this case, it might be a solar wind. But you get the idea. Allow this to keep flowing as we send this ray out to your moon and to each planet one by one. Just allow it to go out as if you were looking at your universe and all the planets in their rotation. Yes, rotation. And allow this violet ray to flood your universe, all planets, as though your universe was like a giant lake of consciousness. And that lake is now violet fire, violet ray, transmuting all lower energies to love. Across all dimensions of space and time, all realms. And all the realms in between. A giant cosmic violet cloud of light filling your universe. Dear ones, do you realize how powerful you are as you work this frequency? You are helping to heal not only your world, but your entire universe and life on other worlds within your universe and beyond. And all of that is interconnected and interwoven with your world, for everything is tied together. Allow yourself to just be filled with this violet and keep allowing it to just pulse from your heart space in all directions of space and time out into your universe and beyond. And so it is. It is done. Blessed be, blessed be, blessed be. We thank you for this work, dear ones. You have carried much light this night. Slowly and gently make your way back into your physical form wherever you are. You are still anchoring the violet, and you still may feel a bit heavy in the physical form. As you slowly prepare to rejoin your world, so to speak, at this denser frequency, slowly wiggle your toes and fingers perhaps until you are ready to come back completely. You are blessed. You are divine creators. And remember the messages from the wind and the artist. For you are just like them. You just create in different ways. Our blessings to all of you. And we will speak again soon. Have a good night.